Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Roger Gilbert. I'm reporting for International Aquafeed magazine, and I'm here in Madeira attending the European Aquaculture Society's event, which is running for 4 days at the moment. We are on the last day. I'm in the exhibition area. The event is a conference come exhibition, and I'm in the exhibition area, and I'm on the stand of Brabender. And I'm talking to Jessica Wiertz, and she is the managing manager for applications at Brabender. And we're going to be talking about extrusion technology. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, nice to meet you, Roger.
Tell us, Jessica, a little bit about the extrusion technology you have on the stand today.
hmm Yeah, we have got here our extrusion system for lab scale. So customers can use these devices for R&D and product development. So it's not for production, it's on smaller scale.
And what is your view about who should be using lab type equipment or small scale equipment?
Actually, it's for all the feed producers who want to do some formulation development or optimize their processes, but also for all R&D institutes or universities dealing with aquafeed or any feed products.
And the advantage to them, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of advantages, but what are the key advantages to having in your facility your own test machine?
Mhm. I guess the main advantage is that the customers save downtimes on their production scale extruder. So usually they have a huge extruder and they have to stop it when doing some research trials for some feedings, for example. And having a lab extruder, they can leave their production running and do all the tests on the small scale extruder. And they don't only save the time, but they also save the material. Because sometimes they have more or less expensive additives. And there will be tons wasted if they produce the test batches on the big scale.
I'm sure that relates to a lot of people out there who are trying to do their own test machines or test products on their big machines. But what about scaling up? I mean, this is a question I've often come across. How do they scale up from a small machine to a larger machine?
Yeah, for sure, there have to be some parameters adjusted. That's just because of the geometry is a little bit different when you compare a small and a big extruder. So the shearing conditions and the heat distribution, it will be slightly different. And for sure, you run the pre-trials and you make some small adjustments, but at least you have a base you can start on, which saves a lot of time when you pre-test this on a small scale, not only finding the right formulation, but also finding the right settings like temperature, speed profile, screw configuration, and so on. So it's much easier than without doing R&D trials in advance.
And this obviously would save people or companies going out to third parties to do their formulation work or their trial work. But wouldn't the cost be prohibitive? Wouldn't it be too expensive to have your own trial extruder in the factory?
Yes, because they have a much bigger flexibility when having a own lab extruder. We also get the feedback here at the Aquaculture Europe from customers that they are waiting a long time for receiving samples and maybe the flexibility is not so high. And when you have your own device, you can run many formulations and even within a very short period of time. So having an extruder, when we run trials for customers in our lab, we can change the settings and run many trials a day. So you can really achieve a lot of samples in a short time.
I know it might be a bit of an unfair question, but what would be the return on investment? I mean, how long would it take to offset possibly the investment that you're making? I know it would depend on the products you're producing, but have you any idea about that?
I guess it should be not too long. When you use the device really frequently, it will be a short time. For sure, when having the device and using it only once a month or once in 3 months, that won't be very efficient. But using it frequently for R&D, it will be paid very quickly. And in addition to these pre-trials, you can also use it for innovations. For example, adding new ingredients like algae, insects, or other stuff. And this will also bring you an advantage in comparison to other companies.
In the marketplace. Well, Jessica, thank you very much for those insights. Yes, I think that lab-based extruders, test extruders being in manufacturing facilities is something we should be looking forward to given that aquaculture is growing so rapidly.
Yes, it will definitely improve and helping the aquaculture companies to proceed and to do their R&D efficiently.
Okay, thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.